Hello, everybody. This is Jennifer Fox with Fox Property Management. It's August 2025, and I'm going to have a quick discussion with you around risk, liability, and compliance. So, as property management company, of course, collecting rent, finding great tenants, all of that's very, very important. But one of the things we take really seriously is our compliance, following both compliance and habitability in the way that we vet tenants, in the way that we manage forms, in the way that we handle difficult situations. And so it's a tiered approach to managing the risk, liability, and legal compliance for your property. So um, this may or may not be one of your biggest concerns as a landlord, but it's, I think, nice for you to know that it's something that we are really thinking about. And many of you probably know that things have changed dramatically in the state of Colorado around a lot of laws, a lot of timing. Timing in the way that we deliver forms, timing in the way that we handle maintenance. As a company, we've always been really quick to deal with any habitability issues, but um, there are some big changes to that require us to take action in a way that we didn't need to in the past. And that might also be unusual or uncomfortable for you, a speed of action and obligation that is not how things used to be. So basically we care about making sure that we are compliant as representatives of you. So one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today is sort of the different levels of compliance. So it starts in the property. It starts with, first of all, making sure that every vendor working in your property has insurance. So that is something that we always make sure of. We have a legal team that makes sure that our forms, our leases, are the way that we handle eviction, the way we handle posting notices is all done properly so that we don't lose any time in that process. We have let's see, all there's been so many different changes in laws, but some of the things that are consistent is City of Boulder still has a rental license that helps us manage safety and habitability, and Denver has one too, but other cities don't. And so we have some different requirements in different areas, and so we're managing that you have a rental license if your property is in an area where you need a rental license. So there's a lot of tiered compliance for us. And so it starts at, the big beginning basically, which is making sure that your property is habitable and that we have a property that's safe and meets habitability laws. So basically, the physical asset, rental income, and equity growth are all really important. But the first layer is legal and lease compliance. Colorado specific lease language, we're using that. Security deposit handling. How do we handle the security deposit, making sure it's returned in a timely manner? Notice timeliness, super, super important. Lots of changes there. We have to deliver notices consecutive days, and they have to be the right amounts need to be on each. That you can't charge fees, you can only charge rent. There's all sorts of rules, regulations around how we around the notices and forms that we post. Eviction readiness, so being ready and understanding what our options are. Layer two, fair housing and discrimination protection. So making sure our staff is trained, that they understand the fair housing laws, that our staff is marketing in a way that uses proper marketing words and ways of describing a property, consistent screening policies, documentation of our protocols. And then layer three is safety and habitability checks. So this goes back into the property: smoke alarms, CO detectors, annual inspections. Actually, we go in, we try to get in twice a year. Emergency repair readiness, that we're responding. We have somebody 24/7 on call to deal with any issues that happen, and making sure that we're responding in a really timely manner, especially for issues that are major habitability issues. Um, the I also mentioned the rental inspections and rental licensing. And so some of these items around habitability and safety get handled through the rental license, but it's a process every 4 years. And so we really need to be checking the property much more often to make sure that the property is still safe, and not every tenant will let us know when it's not. So we try to get into the property and check it out. The next layer of compliance is making sure our vendors and contractors have the insurance they need. So we have huge amount of liability insurance. You as a homeowner have insurance. The tenants have insurance, and it is critical that the vendors have insurance. And oftentimes, if the vendors don't have insurance, other insurance will not will not stand if you hire a vendor that's not insured. So it's very important that we have qualified and approved vendors working in your property. And then ongoing monitoring of legal updates. So we're paying a lot of attention. What's going on? What are the new laws? What are the new things we need to be paying attention to? We work with other property management companies and their leadership to understand what are their best practices, how are they doing things, what changes do they see coming. We're doing trainings. We take trainings in continuing education for both internal trainings and policy updates for the way that we do business, but also what should be expected out in the industry. And so we're basically care very much that how we're looking at your property from what's happening inside your property to the way that the tenants experiences when we are taking them through the application process to the experience they have when they're in their lease. Are the forms following all the proper language, and if something happens mid lease and we have to we have to provide forms, are they correct forms, are they timely? All that matters so much, and a really important part of the compliance responsibility that we have. And so throughout the lease and throughout the tenancy, there's both managing maintenance quickly, making sure that we're handling forms in the appropriate way with legal advice as needed. If we have to get into a situation where an eviction is required, that we have the right partnership to make sure that we're doing things quickly and in a timely manner and really handling the situation as fast as we possibly can. So I think it's just, really wanted to share with you that, you know, you hire us for so many reasons, from the selection of tenants to the monitoring of the property to making sure that all the documents are proper to collecting rent every month, making sure that the financial statements are accurate, to transitioning the tenant out and looking at the property and getting it ready for the next tenant and returning a deposit, security deposit. So there's so many elements of what we do, and we have a big team that's doing it and working hard to do a great job for you. And compliance is a really big part of that. I also want to mention that as a company, we care so much about compliance and representing you that we have created a new position in the company, a director of compliance, that was filled several months ago in June. And that person in our office, that is all that they do, is that they are making sure that everything we do and the decisions we make and the education that we have is all following um, a compliance protocol, so that we're doing the best we can for you to manage your property and manage the risk for you and for us and for our tenants and for our vendors and everybody involved in the housing that we all care so much about. So thank you for taking time to watch this video today, and I appreciate your time. And again, as I said in past videos, anytime that you want to give me a call or an email, you have questions, you want to talk through something, I'm always happy to hear from you. So again, this is Jennifer Fox with Fox Property Management. Feel free to reach out to me at jen@foxpropertymgmt.com. I hope you have a great day. Bye.